Sorry. I'm recording now. Okay. It's Saturday. I'm here with two different, what are these even called? Community things? I don't know. Challenges. Community challenge on Twitch. So the big one that just got finished was the physics get ready with me. And the other one that was finished before that I completely forgot about was Old Slides. So we're combining them today where, yeah, I am going to be doing my makeup, which is the get ready with me part. And I don't know, trying to talk about physics at the same time. We'll see how that goes. And then once my makeup is on and I look cute, I guess I'm gonna try to give you guys a talk. Or two. I have a few. So here's the thing. The Old Slides challenge was that I was looking through I just have like a backlog of Google Slides throughout my time in college. I have a lot of them now. And so we can pick, the longest one is maybe like 15 minutes. They're not very long. So as we're doing makeup and getting things ready, we can pick which ones you guys want to hear, and I'm gonna try to like cold give you guys a presentation on something I haven't seen in years. So I think that'll be really funny. Especially because I am notorious for not doing slide notes or anything, so I'm kind of excited to see how well I can do. Yeah, it's science time. So just to like, before we get into it, my desk is littered with makeup stuff, so that's another fun twist to what's happening. Just to give you guys an idea of the titles of some of these presentations I have dispersion and double rainbows, the metallization of rocks, hot take, infrared and other processes of gas giants, let's see, I have a lot of learning ones, Fermi acceleration and collisionless plasma, evaluating the Hubble constant with gravitational waves, constraining H0 with time delay lensing data. Death stars, stars that eat planets. That's my thesis. And calculating the Hubble constant with standard candles. So I don't have anything on brown dwarfs yet. I have it on a bunch of other random stuff. I could probably just give you a cold talk on brown dwarfs, but but yeah, so that's what's up. I have music. I have music that I intended to play, so it's not boring in the background. Okay. So, let's do it. Makeup time. Mug of Bardic Inspiration, let's go. Okay, so, what's up? I moisturized earlier. This is a mess. This is so embarrassing. Okay. I'm unfamiliar with the get ready with me like videos. I know they exist and I've seen like joke ones, but I've never watched an actual one. So, I don't know what they're supposed to be like. What's in that mug of Bardic Inspiration? It's chai. It's just a little bit of Bardic Inspiration, baby. Don't worry about it. Do I have to tell you what I'm putting on my face? Oh my god, I dropped it. This is, what's it called? What is this stuff called, actually? Primer. I have a really tiny bottle because I needed some and it was really expensive, so I bought the smallest one available and it was still like $12. If the one thing you might learn is that I'm super cheap when it comes to makeup because it's expensive. It's so expensive, like, arbitrarily. Yeah, I love the mug of Bardic Inspiration's funny because it could be anything in there. It could be whatever you want. A little bit of wine, with a little bit of liquid courage. No. I'm running out of this too. I should buy more. Buy another tiny bottle. God, I don't know why. This one's like weird too because it's like it's not like, I'm used to it being like a liquid, like a kind of like a cream. This one's like, I don't know, a freaking Bingham plastic for real. You guys know what Bingham plastic is? It's like a non-Newtonian fluid. Like the term to describe a non-Newtonian fluid. So like toothpaste is a Bingham plastic. This fucking primer is a Bingham plastic. That shit. It's so weird. I don't know. I just wish fluids kind of worked in a Newtonian way, personally, but you know, I guess that's whatever. I mean, I guess they're good. There's reasons for being in plastics. They're positive. I mean, I just hate it. It's a mess. It's a mess dynamically, and I don't like it. Fluid dynamics as a whole kind of fucking sucks. You know, I was really afraid that we'd never get to physics talk, and it immediately turned there. That's how my brain works. Oh boy. But yeah, fluid dynamics kind of sucks. It's good. It's important to do. It's like important to know, but like, bro, I have foundation, and it kind of doesn't match my skin tone very well. I mean, it does. It's pretty good, but like, I have a weird skin tone, so it's not like easy to match. Anyway. That's like, what's that term? I bring it up every once in a while on stream. What's it called? Magnetohydrodynamics, right? Is like kind of like fluid dynamics and E&M combined, which is like kind of a mess, dude. But it's important, you know, when you do like plasma physics. I did a plasma physics class once, and it was like, I don't know, it was a lot. It's definitely like you like E&M, and you like what's it called? You like E&M, you like fluid dynamics, hydromagnetostatics, magnetohydrodynamics, ay, is like your thing. Just call it MHD. Like, who are we playing at? Like, I'm not gonna be like that guy who's just saying all these words like all the fucking time. Okay. I think that's good. It's like really fun because I'm doing this in my webcam too, and not like using a mirror, so we're guessing. We're guessing here. Okay. What's the next part? I need to set it. I need to set it with the setting powder. Bam. Fixing powder. I actually mostly use this for doing body paint. So yeah, when I go, I've been like green and stuff, doing cosplay. Oh my god, I'm getting everywhere. So it's really good for that, but also good for regular people makeup. And you know, sometimes I do regular people makeup. Oh my god, it's like powder. It's everywhere! Oh god, I hate this shit. Okay, sorry, it's fine. It's good. Just kind of spread it out. Just kind of spread it out. It'll work. It'll work. Oh, powder. Oh, powder. How you hate me. Okay. There's particulate everywhere. Okay. Yeah. This is pretty much normal for me, though. I kind of... I don't wear makeup very much. I wear it literally only if I'm, like, modeling? Doing a photo shoot? Fashion show? Or, like... Oh my god. Or, what else? Doing something else. Like, occasionally I'll wear it if I'm, like, going somewhere super fancy. But, like, I don't really go anywhere fancy. So, I don't wear makeup very much. That's okay. It's all over my t-shirt. Also, I'm wearing a big giant t-shirt, because I have a cute shirt I want to wear, but I knew I would get makeup all over myself, so that'll come next. It's like step 5, step 10, I don't know. Okay. Again, this is so weird. So weird to do with my camera. But let's see, what was I talking about? I was talking about, oh, I was talking about plasma physics, bro. Oh my god. But yeah. I don't know, plasma physics is alright. I don't know. It's not for me, especially in the computational field, like, but, you know, it's okay. I'm like coming to terms with the fact that I might be a computational physicist forever, because I think that might be, like, just my lot in life. I wanted to be more of an experimentalist, or, like, instrumentationalist, but, like, you know, I think I might just become, I don't know, there's something nice about doing something you know how to do. And computers are nice and easy, and you don't have to worry about other stuff, so, you know. I can go to the place. Yeah. I know, I have that restaurant listed. I have like these tabs on my computer screen that are things I need to remember, and that restaurant is there so I can go because you keep mentioning it and I'm like, oh. Alright, the base is done. Time for the fucking hard part. So, what's next in putting on makeup? Probably eyeshadow. I'm like trying to look at all the stuff that I have. Let's put eyeshadow on. You think about that restaurant once in a while. Oh man. I love and hate restaurants like that where you're just like, I went there once and it changed my life and I absolutely love it. Okay, oh my god. This palette is falling out. Ah! Okay. That's good. That's fine. Oh. I made this palette. I bought these and it was really expensive, but I use them a lot, so I thought it was justified. I got to pick all the colors. Okay, so what are we doing? We're just doing. Oh god, this is gonna be hellish. I'm gonna move my microphone a little bit. Okay, there we go. We got this. Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a computationist forever. But that's fine. I don't know. Like, experimentation's so yesteryear, you know? No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I still think it's cool as shit. When people are like, I built something in a lab and then I like got a result, I'm just like, dude, that's fucking sick. You know what I did? Fucking sat on a computer and typed. That's literally all I did. No. I mean, there's like the observation aspect of it that's nice too. I like observation. I've only done it like once, like hardcore. But it was hard. It was really rough. My like observation window. Can I wink easily? Pretty easily. I can do like this kind, but like the kind that's like my eyelid's nice. That's a little bit trickier, but I can do it. God, this is messing with me because it's not my camera's not mirrored, so I'm like doing it backwards. It feels trippy. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was talking about observation. Okay, so like I did an observation run. I did this observation run on the, what telescope was it? The Chara telescope. It's in Southern California. I did it remotely, so I wasn't in Southern California, but like I was using it. And it was like, so the Chara telescope's really weird because it's an optical interferometry. Ugh. I need more bardic inspiration. But it's a optical interferometry telescope, which is super weird because interferometry is usually used for like sound, like other types. It's not usually used in the optical like field, so that was kind of cool when I did that. But like I only observed like 2 stars like during the entire run. I did it for about 2 weeks before I got fired. But that's okay. We're not gonna talk about that part. But I only did it for about 2 weeks, and we only observed 2 stars. So we had a test star, and then we had 2 like target stars, and like the target stars, like dude, we had 12 hours. We were doing it for the full night, like just this group, and it was like, oh my god, it was like just 12 hours of switching between 2 stars. It was so much time. But what were we doing? The data we were collecting is used to like, what's it called? Like get images and map the surface of stars. So pretty cool. Like the like data that came from it's sick as hell, but like boy oh boy, that was a lot. I would literally go like get on my computer at 6 p.m. to like start doing prep, and then we would go until 6 a.m. like just the whole time, no breaks, no stops, constantly working. And I was like, sometimes I'd be like, oh my god, I have to pee or something, because I was like fucking crushing Mountain Dew, dude, to stay awake, because you need to be like hyper focused too. It's not like you can get tired, you have to be like awake and on it. Is that working? I can't even fucking tell. Yeah, no, it's just Elvish, but it's kind of funky. It's kind of like a weird like, written form of Elvish. I was, like, looking at it the other day, and I was like, nah, man, what is this? I think it might, cause, like, okay, I'm, like, familiar with Lord of the Rings Elvish, like, in a maybe a way that's, like, a little too much, you know, for normal people, but, which way do I go? This way? And, it's, like, this side's messing with me so hard. I don't know why I can't do this. And, yeah. But I'm mostly familiar with the Sindarin, like, dialect, and not the Kenya dialect. I think it might be Kenya, but that's fine. I have to, like, think about this without, like, looking. Yeah, if I don't look at the camera, it's not fucking with me as hard. That's so wild, I'm, like, doing it backwards. Oh my god. Okay, that's a mess. That's an absolute mess. Oh my god, my, like, motor skills are gone. Hold on. Where's my phone, actually? I'm just gonna use my phone. Okay. Cheating. Oh, is it cheating? How do people do this? They probably just look in a mirror and have the camera, like, in front of the mirror. That would make, that's, you know, that's smart. That's a smart idea. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Oh, bro, kinda like. I'm doing this extra for stream. I mean, this is pretty typical as to how I, like, do makeup, if I ever do it. But, yeah, I don't normally do it on a daily basis. I do it on, like, a never basis. Okay, I think that's fine. Why is this? This is weird too. I can't look at it! Okay, I have to, like, flip my camera around. That's pretty good. Okay. There we go. I got that figured out. There's powder in my eyelashes. Ugh. Okay. Woo! We're doing it, guys. Makeup time! Oh my god, there's powder in my eyelashes. Okay. The powder in my eyelashes becomes powder in my eyes. Alright. So much residue. Put the highlight up here. Okay. There we go. Whoop. Yeah, no. Observing was crazy. Although I feel like that the Chara observing was kind of, like, weird and unique in its own way. Cause, like, the amount of, like, control you had as the observer was insane. Very atypical for, like, a normal telescope. But, like, you know, it was cool, and now I feel like I have a weird skill set that I'll literally never use again, unless I get called back. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to show up! It's fun! It'll be on YouTube if you ever wanted to see the rest of it. It'll live there forever, and people will know that I can't do makeup. Oh my god. I can't do this in a webcam. I didn't think this would be this hard. I could just mirror this for myself. That may be easier. But alas. Okay, let me try that. Okay, so we've got that. What's the next part? What's the next part? Oh god, I just fucking... Yeah, that's why I can't wear makeup, because I'll just, like, wipe my face. Alright. Yeah, say hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube audience who's seeing this not live, but that's okay. I'm on Twitch all the time. If you're always like, where is she? Why is she not on YouTube? I'm just on twitch.com. Okay, I have fake eyelashes. I have fake eyelashes that I want to put on. But, I don't know if I should do my... I'll put them on first. Okay, let me just try to mitigate what's on my desk, what needs to be on the desk. Put some things back into the makeup bag. This can go back. Okay, there we go. So, here we are. Here we go. Here are my fake eyelashes. They're very, very long and very dramatic because I think that's fun. And eyelash glue. Yeah. Okay. Unpackage everything. Oh, here it is. Unpackage everything. Yeah. So like my natural eyelash length is like funky. It's like a weird length. So if I wear fake eyelashes, they kind of have to be really long, or they are almost the same length or shorter than my regular ones, and then they just weigh down my eyelids and don't do anything. So, but you know what? This place got me good. They've got, oh, it's already got adhesive on it. Can I just use this? Do I have to glue it? Do I have to glue it? I don't really know how. I don't use these very much. Oh my god, this is gonna be painful. Let me try to do this. How am I gonna do this? Okay, that's fine. We got this, we got this. I'll match it in the corner, right? The front corner. Oh Lord Jesus. Oh my god. Okay. I'm like totally ripping this. Ugh. Okay, now I need glue. I definitely need glue, but also placing this is gonna be a bitch. Is it like too short or long? Let me just check the position real quick. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, we got this. We got this. Hello. Welcome. Oh Lord Jesus. Okay. I'm sorry. No, we're good, we're good. I'm not scared of this in any way. Just to be clear. Oh my god. How am I supposed to put this on? Okay, we got this. We got this. God damn it. I have a degree. I have a degree in physics, you guys. I should be able to figure this out. Okay. Just plop it on. Just fucking go. Where's the... Okay. This sucks. This sucks. Ah, I'm scared! I keep getting scared! Oh my god. Okay. I don't know why I was freaking out. Literally children do this all the time. Oh, I'm missing my iPad. We'll just pop it on and then we'll adjust as it is itself, right? That's a good idea. Oh my, it's like plastic. Okay. How long does it take to adhere? I'm afraid of gluing my eye closed. I don't think that's possible. I mean, probably not that strong, right? Okay, hold on, let's just do this. Can't. Maybe it is. Let's see. Does it say how long it takes to adhere? Or is that like a silly question? Oh! I didn't read the directions at all. It says that you put it on and then you wait 30 seconds. And then you put it on. Well, we'll just wait for 30 seconds with it on my face and say that's how that works. Okay. Oh my god, this feels insane. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh my god, this is crazy! Okay, I think I biffed this a little bit. But you know what, it's gonna work, it's gonna be fine. It just feels, it's like in the corner. Oh my god, my eyes look crazy though. This is insane. This is actually crazy. Blah. I like adjust it, tweak it. This is cool. It looks cool though. It looks crazy. Yeah, dude. It is heavy. It's weird. Okay. Yeah, this corner needs like more glue. Is that wise to like adhere more glue? I feel like I didn't need to put it as far in the corner as I did. Can I like... Oh my god, can we do this? Oh my god, that feels so strange. Yeah, there's so much fucking glue in my eyes. Okay. That's fine. We're learning. This is all experimentation. This is all This is why I can't be an experimentalist. If anything, I'm just proving this to myself. Experimentalists know how to read the instructions, I'm sure. Just kidding, I know for sure. Oh my god, I got so much glue. In the fake eyelash, that's fine. Ugh. I know, I'm like afraid of gluing my eyes closed. Okay, let me just do this. How do people do this all the time? Like, some people wear these every day. Wait, am I dumb? Okay. It's fine. I don't want to remove too much of the glue because I know I'm just gonna get more glue in there, but like, I really want to take it off. That is uncomfortable. Oh, it's like so freaky. What is coming off of my eyelashes is like, oh. It's like got my eyeshadow color so it looks flesh tone. It's just like flesh tone glue. Ooh, creepy. There probably is a thing that can be used for this. I don't know what it is though. There we go. Delicate. Ladylike, graceful. I think that might be good. Get that corner, yo. Okay, here we go. It's coming later. Yeah, okay, yeah. Kind of curve it. It just looks really flat. It makes my eye look flat, which I guess it is, but like, when you exaggerate it, it looks freaky. That looks freaky! Okay. Holy shit, it's just really long! Can I cut it? Can I cut this off? Like, maybe that's the key. I don't know. This is a choice that I made. This is a... I don't know. We could let it sit for a second. It's just really long. It just makes my eye look short. I can cut it. Cut it. I have scissors. Watch me. I'm gonna cut them and then they're gonna look really different. That's the thing. I'm like, girl, why? But you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I don't care. We're learning. Oh my god, I thought this would be easier. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this on my face? This is insane. Okay. What's the best way to do this? What's the best way to do this? Someone's gonna watch this and be like, what on earth are you doing? And I'm gonna be like, I'm learning. Please don't judge me. Scissors. Okay. Oh my god. I think it's gonna work. It's just a little... Oh my god. Okay. That's fine. Well, if I have to do it again. We'll just... Oh boy. It's a tricky cut. I'll just measure them at the same time, so... and cut them to be the same length. Thinking ahead! I'm learning! God. Oh Jesus! Okay, I'm like dropping them and stuff. Okay, I'm glad I have a desk. Or I'd be like absolutely messed up right now. I see. I know, I'm like being a horror movie protagonist right now by like being like, this is a good idea, let me just do this really quick. I'm just from a Saw film. Okay. Now, hopefully this works. Let's see. If I can grab the coin, put it on top, and then do it. I think this is... oh my god. There's just so much glue on my eye now, I don't have to glue them anymore. Okay. Saw films are crazy. They really are. Jesus. I can get this. Oh. There's so much glue. Someone's definitely like, that's not how you do that. hard to put on. It's just really hard to like place. I forgot. I used to like try to do fake eyelashes a lot, and I would always be like, this is really hard, and then I stopped. And now, it's been many years. I forgot. I was like, yeah, why don't I do that? That sounds fun. It's not fun. It's confusing. I don't get this. Also, is it worth it? I mean, kind of. It looks fucking insane, dude. It looks crazy. I kind of like how crazy it looks. I'm like afraid of going in the corner. I'm gonna redo this. Okay. I can line it up on this side. Alright. And then I'm gonna have to do the other eye! Oh my god, why do I have two eyes? Why can't I be a Cyclops, for real? Okay. I think we might be okay though. I should've just done regular. Whew! Okay. I'm just gonna let that sit for 1 second and just feel it because it feels insane. It's just cause it's long. It's just cause it's long as shit. God, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, doing stuff in front of a mirror is hard. Doing stuff in front of a non-mirrored webcam is seemingly more difficult. You know? Rusty cog. Okay. I'm just gonna let that one sit. I don't want to touch it anymore. Does it look funky? Yeah, it fucking does. But you know, I think that's the nature of the style. I think that's how it's supposed to look. It just looks crazy. Oh. Alright. Part 2. It's gonna be better. Better than ever. Do I even need to put eyeliner on if it's already so dramatic? Ah. There we go. Jesus. We're on an adventure here. Okay, what do they say? 30 seconds? I could just read the things right here. Yes, 30 seconds is what it said. That's weird, I can feel it like touching my eyebrow. Oh. Yeah, this one's probably gonna be fine, because the other one was such a mess. I think I figured it out. I think I've like got the strat though. Oh my god. Makeup's hard. People who do makeup should be appreciated. This is crazy. This is crazy. I think that one's better. Oh god, it's embarrassing. How much better that one is. How long have I been doing physics? I've been doing like hardcore physics for like how long is that? Let's say 6 years. It might be a little bit longer, but like we'll just round it to 6. I think that's okay. This one's like farther in the fucking corner. Let's do it. Oh my god. I don't know what I like more. I think I don't like it in the corner, actually. I kind of wish it was over. Oh, can I just, like, slide it? Just slide it away. Okay. Yeah. That's makeup. For real. But yeah. I've been doing physics a long time, it feels like. Yeah. I've been in college for 10 years as of this year. That's crazy, right? I'm not done with college yet, and it's been 10 years. Also, I've not taken a break. I took like a 3-month, like a half a semester break of college due to like family, like extreme family circumstance. Not like because I was like, I'm just gonna take a break. I just like had a thing I had to deal with. Okay, yeah, wow, look at my eyelashes, I'm like a freaking cartoon. Oh, like an anime. 10 years. I know, I'm just like, God. One day I'm gonna be like, oh my god, remember when we were in college? Remember when I was in college, guys? And people are gonna be like, yeah, you mean that like 12-year, 15-year span of your life? Like, that's a long ass time. And I'll be like, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, it's already at the point where I like refer to different times in my life. I'm like, well, when I was doing my undergrad and when I was doing my master's and when I was doing a PhD, because like, it's too long of a window. Yeah. If I ever have kids, I mean, not even if I have kids, if I ever talk to children about going to school, I'm like so afraid I'm gonna just like freak them out and be like, yeah, you're gonna be in school forever. Like, school never ends, actually. Can I just like make this look better? I mean, it's probably fine. I kind of don't want to touch this one anymore because I think I'm just gonna fuck it up, but like at the same time I'm being a bit of a perfectionist. It just looks weird, right? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't even tell anymore. Also, my vision's a little bit clouded by these lashes. So like that's kind of messy with me too. Okay, what if I did one last? God, no, it looks like I have no eyelashes. I do, they're just extremely hidden. Yeah, right? Just be like, I was in school for like ever, guys. Yeah, I like doing outreach and stuff, and I'm like a little bit afraid of doing outreach to like kids too young because I'm like I don't know, I'm afraid of coming off too strong and being like, this is the life you should have, but also I don't want to be like, oh my god, like, don't do it, it's so late. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm better targeted to like that high school adult kind of aged for outreach, just being like, okay, this is what's going on, because I'm afraid of talking to children. Just a touch. Like, kids are fun. I did a teaching thing where we did an outreach to like local San Francisco schools when I was at SF State, and that was really fun. I liked working with the kids, but like also kind of scary. Like, they kind of scare me. Like, I'm maybe more afraid of the children than I am of the college student. It's just different. It's just like really, really different, you know? Like, the children say stuff and you're like, I don't know how to respond. Because when I talk to an adult, I'm like, okay, I can just say whatever and they'll either think I'm weird or they'll be like, oh yeah, I agree with you, you know? Like, but like with kids, I'm like, am I like influencing you in some way? Like, am I gonna like give you a weird like opinion on something that like, I don't know, that's like what I'm afraid of, which is just a crazy weird thing to fucking say. That's an insane thing to say and think, but you know, that's what I'm afraid of. Because, you know, I feel like everyone has that one thing where they're like, yeah, this one person told me this once, and now I'm like super freaked out about it, and I don't want to do that to someone. It feels like I was born and went to college. Yeah, I know. God, trying to think about like being in high school is like, that feels like insanely long ago. I think that might be as good as it's gonna get. That's fine. We'll call it there. Also, I'm done. I don't want to touch that anymore. Yeah, it's like it's hard to think about like being in high school sometimes because I'm just like, man, I feel like I didn't do anything, you know? Like I was like, wow, I didn't have a job. I didn't really like go out. Like, I wasn't accomplishing anything significant. Like, I know that I finished because I was able to go to college, but like literally what do high schoolers do? Other than like have personal drama. I did have so much interpersonal drama in high school, and that's like all I remember. Academically, I don't remember anything. Other than like, I remember reading like The Great Gatsby and like other books that I was like, this fucking changed my life, but like, only experience talking to children's family. Yeah, right? Like, if I meet a kid like in a random like setting, it's usually like, oh, they'll like start talking to you and saying stuff and you're like, oh, that's nice. But then when I have to like teach children, I'm just like, oh, especially because like, I don't know, the way I teach at the college level is a little weird, I think. Cause I'm very much like just figure out a way that works for you and go with it. There's no right answer, and I feel like kids really don't respond well to that idea, which makes sense because that's kind of like, it's kind of crazy to be like, yeah, just, you know, you just work on your own and figure it out, and then, you know, you'll get it. It's all good. Okay, boy oh boy. Now I'm trying to like blend my lashes. Why? But you know what, we're doing anyway. Maybe it'll make it look more normal. I don't think there's any way to make these look normal. I think they look scary intentionally. I mean, not intentionally. Not scary. I mean, intentionally, but not scary. My personal bias came out for a second. Okay, so. Oh my god. This looks like itchy. That's okay. We'll get used to it. If there's anything I've learned from makeup and cosmetic stuff, is that it's usually a little uncomfortable and then you get used to it and you don't think about it anymore. That's how I got into waxing, kids. I wish my teachers gave me building blocks and let me learn. Me too! I mean, well, here's the thing. I think it's weird. I think I have a learning disability, but like, the one I think I have is a little bit weird. It's a little, like, not common. So I was never tested for a learning disability. I just struggled a lot. But I had to, like, come up with and develop, like, a lot of really kind of, I had to, like, rebuild the wheel a lot in terms of, like, learning things, especially with math, which is really funny that I'm a physicist now, I think, because I was, like, just so absolutely could not understand how division worked. Like, that conceptually really fucked me up. And so I had to, like, I actually did it a lot through drawing, which, this is insane. I looked like a crazy person, and, like, we had a lot of, like, at my elementary school, we had a lot of, like, moms who would come in and, like, help teach and stuff, because, like, there weren't enough teachers. And so, like, a lot of the moms would always, like, comment on being like, oh, like, you're not working on anything, or, like, your drawings are really, like, weird and stuff. Because I would draw out, like, if you had, like, 12 divided by 3, I would draw out, like, 12 tally marks, and then separate them into groups of 3, and then I realized that that was the relationship to division, and then it's like, oh, well, if you do that, then you have 4 groups of 3, and that's how it works. Like, because I couldn't understand it. I need a visual, I guess. I don't know. I, like, could not figure that out for a long time. So I started doing it that way, but then that was the only way I knew how to do it. And so I had to, like, draw a lot of weird shit, and then people were like, oh my god, I think you have a different problem. I was like, no, I just don't get math. Can I do this? As evil in multiplication is good. That's fair. I think it's funny, because I think a lot of people have those types of conceptions where you, like, think of, like, the way you conceptualize math concepts early on is just, like, funky, especially when you learn them when you're young, right? Oh my god. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Stamp. Perfect. Easy. Not even a problem. Stamp eyeliner is the coolest shit in the world, dude, for real. Oh my god, I drifted already. Why does this side mess with me so hard? My motor skills, they disappear. Okay, here you go. Come on, don't fuck it up. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah, no, I really feel like, as a person who had to break down math concepts, like, for myself as I was learning them growing up, I'm like, someone could do this better. Like, realistically, it's not that crazy, but, like, people treat it as, like, if you don't get it right away, you're, like, stupid. Which is also, like, what an insane thing to say. Like, if you don't understand how to divide, or, like, how the concept of division works with no one explaining it to you, you're just automatically stupid. That's, like, one of the craziest fucking shits I've ever heard, dude. Okay, holy god. This is gonna be insane. A line. Eyeliner, let's go. Yeah, I think a lot of people get turned off by math by just like how, I mean, I'm an American, of course, but so I only know how the American education system works, but realistically, it's not great. Like, I imagine it's not great all over the world in terms of like if you're a person who doesn't get math very easily. I'm sure a lot of places probably are like, oh, you're dumb. But like, that's crazy nonsense. Just because you haven't learned it. Like, don't get mad at someone for not speaking a language they've never heard before. It's kind of what it feels like. Because math is pretty much a language. That's kind of straight. Oh my god. That's kind of straight. All physics and math are evil. That's funny. Yeah. I feel like kind of is. What should I do? I just did this one. Yeah, I just did this one. Okay. It's like I can't quite, if I close my eyes, I can see where the eyeliner is. If I open them, I can't. So it's like throwing me off. Also, I switched hands for some reason. I keep thinking I'm ambidextrous when it comes to makeup, and I'm not. But you know, that doesn't stop my mind from being like, ah, left eye, left hand, right eye, right hand. So, you know, we'll pretend. We can pretend. Ooh, it's just a squiggly old line. Oh, from this. Oh god, okay. Switch hands, switch hands. Tag in, tag in. Jesus. This is crazy to me how my like doing it with my left hand just now, I was able to do it fine motor-wise, but with my right hand, my motor functions were inverted. What is happening to me? I think I'm going insane. Come on, just like make it a little bit flatter. Doesn't even look that good. No one can even really see it. Just touch the lash line. Touch the lash line. Ugh. Ugh. That's, you know, we'll just call it there. That's fine. Oh, the double slit experiment. The double slit experiment is wonky. It's fair. Like, one of the things that one professor of mine said was just like, a professor of mine liked lab classes but didn't like the way a lot of lab classes were done, because a lot of early lab classes you do, like even in like high school, intro physics, all the way up until you get to like higher level physics, are just recreations of experiments that were done in the past, and you're trying to just get the same result, which I understand on a certain level is good to do, because experiments should be able to be repeated and get the same thing, but usually you're not at a like experimental like level where you can get the results, so sometimes it's just really frustrating and it like doesn't work, and then you're just like, what did I learn? You know, like it's kind of insane. And so with stuff like the double slit experiment too, where I've done the double slit experiment like a billion times, like I feel like it's one that just comes up a lot, and it's just so like you need to be very precise for it to work, and you need to really understand what you're doing, and if you don't, it's frustrating, it's tedious, it kind of sucks. Like, okay. I thought I was bad at math because my school rewarded memorizing multiplication tables a lot, and I suck at memorization, only to get to high school and college and realize I was good at it and could have been better off focusing. Yeah, same. I don't do math fast. That's like a big thing too. I do not do math quickly. I need to go very, very slow. I can do it really well, and I can do pretty good math, like high level math. Like I like linear algebra, and I can do differential. I hate differential equations, but I can do them like by hand, no help. But like, it's just one of those things that's like, you just. I'm not fast, and I don't memorize things, I just figure it out. Like, I like to know the rules of math, and then I can go, oh, based off of the rules, this is what happens, instead of just being like, I just know that 5 times 2 is 10 because someone told me that. I'll just be like, oh, I understand the concept of multiplication, you know, like, and so yeah, that's the other thing. Ugh. Jesus Creebus again with my motor skills being unable to handle. I can't go that far. Why can't I go? Eee. Oh, I biffed it. That's okay. That's okay. We can fix it. We can fix it. Just like moving it around. Just moving it around. Okay. I think that worked. I think that worked. Yeah, that was fine. That worked out. Yeah, no, and I think that's why I personally have an issue with the way like math education is taught at like God, let's switch hands. Will that work better? Almost. With the way math education is taught to like children, because it's very like it's right, it's wrong, it's this way, or you don't know it. It's not. There's not a lot of like understanding in terms of like keeping it like, oh, well, let me explain this to you in a different way. Because a lot of the people who are teaching math at that level don't have that understanding of it either. And so, like, they're just like, oh, yeah. Like, fucking, just, you either get it or you don't. I learned this 40 years ago, and I don't remember how I learned, so I don't care, you know? And I think that is a huge problem. Personally. God damn, what's happening? It's not showing up very well in the middle. I have like a freckle that's like on my waterline. I think it's on this side. But like, it's so weird. Every time I do this, I'm always like, whoa, there's like a black spot right there. What is that? Just a weird freckle. I also have a freckle on my eyeball. I can't tell where it is. It's somewhere. It's like kind of off to the side, so if I'm looking in a certain direction, you can't see it. It's right there, right next to my iris. It's really subtle. But sometimes people see it and they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Oh. Someone asked me once if all humans are dead and math. If all humans are dead and math will still work. That's a weird question. Yeah, like, what does that even mean? Okay, I'm almost done. Let's do some silly things. Okay, so I have makeup stamps. I want to use them. What should I do? I have moons, I have flowers, I have hearts, and I have stars. I do moons and stars a lot because those are my favorites. Let's do moons and stars because I'm a sucker. But let's see, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put. Let's scatter some. Ugh, like, I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck it up because I'm just looking at. You just gotta commit to it. You just gotta like stamp it, and then we'll do another one that's just. Boop. There we go. Stars. And do one like. Boop. And another. Boop. Do some on this side. Boop. Boop. That was really close. That's okay. I feel like, you know, when you play there's certain video games where they're like, you have to like, it's like moving and you have to like choose when to stop it so it hits a certain point. That's what it feels like doing this on the webcam for some reason because my motor skills are not interacting the way I expect them to. Okay, I'm gonna do a moon like. Boop. Oh, yeah, the moon always fucks up. That's okay. I'll fix it. I'll fix that later. Doing with my eyebrow. Like this one. Boop. Moon. I don't want too many moons. Only just more stars than moons. I feel like this moon needs a star though. Whop. They're in the same spot. That's okay. It's okay. We're gonna fix this. Don't worry. We got this. Damage control. But anyway, back to like education reform. Because boy oh boy, if there's something I'm freaking passionate about, it's education reform in terms of like STEM for the average person. Because I think it's like a good skill to have, like knowing a basic amount of math so you can do like, you know, even just like doing your taxes, calculating if someone's like messing with your bills or something. Like it's good to be able to do that. But if you don't know math, you can't do that, and that sucks. How are the people and all that? Oh god, I'm not taking off all the music. That's fine. Yeah, like not everyone needs to do like differential equations all the time because it's not necessary, but like it's good to have like a strong what if I just left it because I'm gonna fucking with it. Ooh, smooth. I like smushed a little bit, but it's okay. But like, yeah. As long as you just have like a strong understanding of it, then people can't trick you as much. And like that's the whole thing, is like I kind of hate it when people like hold things like knowing math as like, oh well, if you know math, then like you can be tricksy and manipulate other people, and I'm like, it's not that crazy. Like that shouldn't be the metric we're using, you know, like beyond understanding math, it helps with reasoning skills. It really does. Yeah, being able to like do math problems is really good. It does help you with like, oh, you can like just understand things more. It's just a different way of thinking about things, whether the math is there or not. Education costs a lot of money in the US. It doesn't. It's like the education system in the US is so funky. It's kind of weird. And again, I'm all about educational reform. If I ever get into politics, I feel like the biggest thing I would be concerned about is like how we do education, because it's fucked up. It's weird. Like, because we have free education from K through 12. It's mandatory and it's free, but it's all over the place in terms of like, what are they teaching you? Is it valid information? How frequently are these standards updated? Like, I'll move to your district to vote for me. Yes. Like, and which I understand. I mean, part of that comes from like the US, the US has like, you know, the state law versus federal law type of thing, and that is purely part of that. You know, some states want to teach certain things about US history or certain other standards that other states don't want to talk about, and I can understand that. I don't agree with it, but like I understand that that's the basis under which our country was developed. So like yeah, dude, healthcare, don't get me started on healthcare. Don't even get me started on healthcare. But yeah, so like I think so there's that part, but then there's like private education, which has its own issues too. Like, as much as people are like, well, private schools are better, I'm like, they are, but also not. Private schools are more likely to have like grade inflation and stuff, where like the scale on which they grade is just different from the scale which a public school would grade. So a student who is going to like a public school who might be getting like C's, like it'd be like an average student could potentially be getting B's or A's in a private school. So when you transfer into a college, which is where things get competitive, then like you can be admitting a student with straight A's who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about versus a more average student who completely gets what they're talking about and is gonna succeed, but like you don't want to let them in because their GPA looks too low. And so that is a mess. I really don't like the GPA system. I think it's a little fucked up. I think it's a little bit punishing to people who like have things they need to get figured out, especially when we're talking about high school students and early adulthood. Like, the things I went through from the years 14 to like 20 were insane. And I assume a lot of people go through like a lot. And it's a really crazy time in your life, but it's also just a crazy time, like, you know, it's a weird thing to be like, oh, yeah, your parents got a divorce when you were in high school, so that kind of messed you up and you got a bunch of Fs. Now you can't get into a good college because your grades fucked. I don't get that. I don't see why that's relevant. That seems insane to me, especially because we don't give students any level of emergency leave, family leave, or sick time. Like, you can take sick time, but it's not like the way sick time works at work, where, you know, you're not expected to be like doing work at home even if you're sick. And I think that's a little fucked up. Just because it's like you still get punished, and a punishment that's like gonna carry on with you on your like academic record, but like you can't even take time off to like grieve a death or something. I mean, like, you can technically, but like it's not enough, especially if you're talking about 14-year-olds. It's different if you're talking about adults at a job that they could like quit if they wanted to, but mandatory school for 14-year-olds where they don't have the ability to take time off for being incredibly ill, or like a death in the family, or having to take extra responsibilities where that like can ruin their life, and they have no, like, it's just, it's weird. It's like, I get that they're children technically, but like, if you're giving them the responsibility and you're expecting them to perform at a certain level, like, you can give them sick time. Like, come on. Like, although again, that kind of goes back to the healthcare issue in the United States, where like, it wasn't even until COVID, I think almost every job during COVID had to start giving people sick time, because before they weren't getting sick time. And that's insane. That's insane, dude. I almost failed a science class because I missed a day in trig, and the rest of the class had so much about it. Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, I think the other aspect I worry about, that's like on the more educational side, is it's like the amount of material that they expect you to cover is too much. I think it's too much. I would prefer, because I think they try to split it so it's like, oh, well, you only have to take like 3 math classes in the 4 years of high school. This was at my high school. I know high schools are different across the board, but like, but these classes were so condensed. I feel like I was learning like so much that I'm like, actually it'd probably be better to just take 2 years of geometry and know geometry very well, instead of take like 1 year of geometry, learn the entire book, and be like, bam, you know that forever, now go to college and do it at that level. Because that's like a lot, right? That's like kind of insane. And especially because, I mean, I'm thoroughly believing that like repetition and like exposure is how people learn, and not just by like telling it to you and you memorize, you parroted it back to me, therefore I know you understand that. Because like, I can do that. Anyone can do that. I could just say a bunch of random words to you in a foreign language, and I could say them to you to the point where you can say them back to me perfectly. That does not mean you understand what you're saying, right? That doesn't translate. It just means you can repeat things. And that's what I feel like the education system like kind of awards, which it shouldn't. Like, it can award it a little bit, but it shouldn't be so focused on like, you repeated the right information back to me, that is what you need to do. Because that's what you're teaching, and I don't think that's good. But geometry is all formulas, and they're all good. Geometry is really good to know. But like, bruh, it's like insane. It's like actually insane how much you need to know. I'm doing Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog got a sub. Welcome. As they were teaching us for this. Yeah, the standardized testing system's kind of fucked too. How do I do this? I have to do this. I have to do this in my phone. This isn't gonna work. I do like a weird thing with my lipstick, so it looks cooler. It makes my lip shape different. Okay, here we go. a little funky on all of that, but that's okay. Enjoy the Sonic sub, just passing through. Thank you, good sir. We appreciate it. Oh. Okay. But yeah, no. It's just... And it's like, the thing is like... I'm convinced everyone can learn anything. Like, there are things you want to learn, and there are things that, like, you need to learn, right? But I'm convinced that if you can't learn it, if you don't want to learn it, or you're in school and it's not working for you, it's because someone's not teaching it to you in the right way, or you're not getting the material in the way that works for you. And I think that's, like, just a really, really crucial way of, like, understanding how brains work. Because, like, when you think about it, if you speak any language at all, like, the only reason you were able to learn your first language is because people were saying noises to you so much that your brain was able to categorize, label, understand, and assign meaning to these noises in a way that you can then generate the same, like, noise and like, interact with language. And that is something humans can pick up. Humans can just pick up language, not an issue. And I'm like, that's insane. That's kind of a crazy ability that we have as people, right? Is to be able to, like, I'm like messing up. Like, yeah, like, you can just talk to a baby any language in the world, and that baby eventually, again, over a few years, over a lot of exposure, can just start speaking any language. It'll just be able to do that. And it's like, that's amazing. And then you can further hone it. But it's the same with writing. Like, I mean, people need to kind of learn writing because it's a little more of, like, an orchestrated type of thing, but you can learn to write. You can look at symbols. The ability to read is to be able to look at symbols, assign real life meaning to them, and then be able to be like, oh, I can envision something that maybe has never happened, maybe cannot ever happen, through this, like, ability to, like, understand and analyze the symbols. And a lot of people can read, and a lot of people can speak, and so I think all humans are just, like, able to do, you know, kind of amazing feats. Like, the brain's really good, so if you can't learn something, I'm convinced it's because someone's not teaching it to you properly. And it's probably because they don't understand it very well. And that's realistically what it is. Ugh. You can make a new language just for you and that baby. You really could. And I mean, I was reading something the other day, which I thought was funny. It was like a sociologist. I don't know. Someone who studies, like, people and how communities work. I don't remember if that's the right word. But he was talking about how, like, within small units, like friend groups or families, it's very common to have, like, what do they call it? Like a micro-dialect. And, I got stuff in my teeth. But the micro-dialect is just, like, you know, when you and your family call grandma, you know, Nana or something. And that's, like, not something that's, like, generally everyone does, but, like, you start developing words or phrases that, like, only mean stuff to you, like, literally just inside jokes, kind of. But it's, like, micro-dialects exist, and, like, I mean, I don't know, me and my friends just, like, make up words that we use. I mean, I call a remote a Mimo. And I call, like, and, like, sometimes I just say, I have a bunch of little weird phrases that I just make up and I start using, and me and my friends kind of just accept it as, like, yeah, that's just a normal thing to say. And, like, you know, that's crazy. You can just, you know, language is really fluid in development, and I think math is the same. And it's weird when people are like, no, well, like, arts and culture and language are, you know, these, like, beautiful human nature things, and then math is, like, this separate thing that's, like, very rigid and unchanging. And I'm just like, it's really not, though. Like, people develop their own math. I mean, Einstein, like, one of the biggest things I think Einstein did, personally, is, like, that bitch just kind of, like, made up some math for things to work. And like that's really the way I like to think about things, is that like it's a tool for you to understand how the world works. It's not like math is the thing that is like unchanging. You know? So like it's just wild. I don't know. People be like crazy. But yeah, I'm convinced everyone can learn anything if they want to. I think some things are harder for people to learn. For sure. There are things that are really hard for some people to learn that are really easy for other people to learn, and I think that's just being different. But you know. But yeah. No, one of the things that I like, one of my quantum professor has this phrase, and I think it's just really, really good because it's really like, it's really true, and I don't think a lot of people think about it this way, but that like nature is what we're trying to understand, right? We're really just trying to understand how nature works. So nature's never wrong. Nature's never wrong in this sense. The theories can be wrong, or the theories can't fit. You know, those are the things that can be tweaked and changed. And when we make theories, a theory is just a framework under which we can understand something. It's not like the theory is inherently true. It's just a framework that works, you know? Like what's another way to say what I'm saying? Here's this. I don't know if you've ever seen the like symbol of the Bohr's atom. Like the diagram of the Bohr's atom, where it's like you have like the nucleus, and then there's these like orbits around the atom where the electrons live. Like, very cool. Very demure. No, I'm sorry. But like, that's like, you know, it's a really nice, very beautiful, very simple thing. That's absolutely totally bullshit. It doesn't like actually really, it's not really accurate. Except it is, right? So like, electrons don't flow around atoms in orbits the way planets do around stars. That's like not how that works. They actually kind of work on like a wavelength thing, because electrons aren't stable in orbits that way. I knew it was gonna come because the pause. Thank you. But like, yeah, because so electrons don't really move on orbits like that. But using that concept of them moving on orbits, you can still get these like energy values, right? Because the thing about the Bohr atom is that every electron shell, like, you know, these different orbits have different energy values, and electrons can jump between shells, and it emits or absorbs certain levels of energy. And that part is completely accurate. Like the energy levels, the ground state energy, that's all good. Even though we're just ignoring the whole like wave mechanic formulism around how electrons actually move. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, what are you looking for? If you're just looking at energy levels and absorption, and you're looking for like a conservation thing, the Bohr atom's totally fine. It totally fucking works. But if you're more concerned about other things, then maybe the Bohr atom model won't work at all, and it's gonna be total bullshit. So like, is it broken? No. Like, it's just a different way to think about it. Like, an even older, maybe you guys I don't know if you've seen this, the plum pudding model of how electrons worked at the time. People were like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see how this plum pudding model works. And what was the idea? The idea is that you had like atoms were like in a, it's like a weird one, because also I'm not really from the 1800s, so the references are a little lost on me. But the idea is that you have an atom, and inside of the atom is kind of like imagine the atom is like a bowl of pudding, and the electrons are like little plums or raisins in that pudding. Like they're a part of it, they are connected to it, but they are not like, it's like an additional thing. Right, that was kind of the idea, and I'm probably botching it a little bit. If I were to, I could look it up and explain it better, but like that's kind of the idea. And like, is that totally right? No, like there's no material it's in. Like the pudding of the plum pudding model doesn't exist, right? But it is a cool idea in the sense that you're starting to think about electrons as being separate, something that can be removed, something that has its own, it's like, it's not part of the atom in the sense that it's, you know, you can't, to rip an electron off is to utterly destroy it, because that's not how, you know, it's not how that works. Electrons get lost and gained all the time. It's very easy. Like, static electricity, you know, if you've ever, like, been shocked by a doorknob, that's electrons jumping. Like, electrons fucking move around all the fucking time. So, like, it's a cool way to think about it. It's, like, again, a little bit inaccurate. So none of these theories are wrong. They're not wrong. They're just looking at different aspects of it, and I think that's what it's, like, important to think about when you think about math and science and theory and how it's, what is it trying to do? What is it affecting? Like, affecting nature. It's not really affecting nature, we're just trying to understand it, and under what context are we understanding it? You know, that's the other part. And now I'll have makeup on my cup. I'm gonna try to set this even more. It's, like, hard because I'm, like, totally fucking chatting, but, like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do I wear dark makeup a lot, or dark lipstick a lot, and, like, you can get it to, like, really not touch stuff if you just set it a lot. It just sucks. It's just kind of a process. Okay. Yeah, especially on the inside. Really, that's where I was messing up. About philosophy of science and scientific method. That's cool. You know what? Like, I had to take a philosophy class, like, at the end, I think it was in my, like, last year, my last semester even, maybe, of my undergrad, and I really wanted to take a philosophy of science class. But they didn't have space! So I had to take, I took a philosophy of risk, which I thought was interesting, but I absolutely hated all the philosophy students. They were just weird. I just like couldn't get their vibe. They were, like, messing with me, dude. I was just like, oh my god. I guess, like, would I think I have an open mind, like, in terms of, like, science and stuff? I think philosophy students have, like, way more of an open mind, where it felt like they almost didn't believe in anything because you could just argue for everything. And I kind of I wasn't vibing with that. I was just like, just say something. And they were like, well, can you really say anything if someone else can say nothing? And you're like, what the fuck are you saying? I was just like, what's happening? This isn't a conversation. You're just arguing. I don't know what's going on. So that was fun. That was me being, like, absolutely pissed off for a whole semester. And I was like, we also had to do, like, one math thing in the class, and they, like, threw a fucking fit, and I was like, you guys are babies. You guys are babies. Although, I don't know, I was, like, also, like, at the end of my college, this was, like, an early intro class, I was also with, like, you know, first, second years, and I was like, you guys are all babies! I'm too old to be here! Yeah, like, you know, as much as I think I have an open mind, I talk to other people, I realize I don't have an open mind. I realize that is a false statement. But, you know, that's how it is. That's how it be. Okay, let's get this hair done. I got too into the physics. We stopped doing the get ready. Hurry up and wait. You can see all the makeup on my fucking shirt, dude. Alrighty, so what is happening up here? But yeah, no, like, science is fucking cool. I think it's cool. I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I feel like it gets a bad rep sometimes because, like, I think it's funny whenever a big discovery happens or someone comes up with something that's just like, whoa, we didn't think we could measure this, but this fucking guy did. Like, good fucking job. The way the like, being inside of the scientific community, usually it's, like, inherently positive. We're just like, oh my god, well, if that's true, then, you know, we have to reevaluate all this other stuff. That's really exciting. Like, we have a new framework under which to, like, you know, understand and, you know, see how things work. Like maybe we can revisit old problems and maybe they'll be fixed. Like it's usually a pretty positive, like cool thing. When I realize like in like public society, like not all the time, it depends on what the discovery is, people get really scared or they get like, they feel tricked or deceived when like new things come out, and I always think that's kind of sad. Partially because, like, I don't think scientists are here to deceive you. I mean, I don't really think they're thinking about you, honestly. I don't feel like a lot of scientists really consider, like, the broader society we live in, which is both maybe good and bad. You know, it's kind of a mixed bag. I think they're just really in their little box, and it's hard to, like, get out of the box sometimes. But, like, you know, I don't think people are, like, you know, doing crazy shit. But people get really upset sometimes when they're just like, like, this is like breaking my reality, like things can't change. And part of me is like, well, I'd rather have them be more accurate than just be wrong. Like if I know it's wrong, I'd rather just have the right information, right? You know, like, but some people get all like, it's ruining my life, Pluto isn't a planet. And I'm like, no, but Pluto's something different and unique and cool, and that's even cooler than it being a planet. Right? What is it? We need to come up with a new word for that. That's cool. That's fun. That's a new classification of objects that now we can start looking for because we didn't know they existed. Think about that, honey. Like, my friend's studying philosophy and has this weird ass quote that he always says to me, but I can't remember it, but it's literally too long and it means nothing to me. That's pretty funny. Yeah, no, that's how it be. That's how it be sometimes. I mean, like, I feel like I try to be a person to, like, go outside of my, you know, scientific community and, like, try to talk to people outside of it. But, like, it's really easy to get stuck and, like, realize that, oh, I've only been talking to scientists for, like, years. It's just really easy to do that. And then, so, I mean, I feel like I'm so conscious of it, and I try to be really aware of, like, talking to, like, you know, regular people who don't have any college education, people with different college education, people who are from different countries. I really try to, like, you know, expose myself to that, but just imagine for every person like me, there's probably a lot more people who are just like, yeah, I just talk to people in my lab and who work in the same research building as me, and those are the only people I interact with, and it's hard, you know, it's hard to, like, get yourself out of the bubble. I mean, I'm sure this isn't just a scientist problem, this is an everyone problem, right? We all have a tendency to just be comfortable in our little communities and be like, yeah, and that's where you could either feel really accepted by your community or really rejected by your community, right? Depending on what kind of values you have. I know, I look fucking crazy, I look hella sick, dude, like, I'm just like, I kind of want to do something, but I don't know what to do. What if I did, like, space buns? That could be cool. That could be cool. And, like, yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's so wild. But yeah, I always get saddened when people are like, oh my god, this science community is trying to, like, do all this crazy shit. And I'm just like, we're not, though. Like, calm the fuck down. Also, I don't know, like, scientists are just, like, people, and science is made by people, and that's another thing I feel like people don't, like, recognize on a certain level, is that it's, like, it's just a bunch of people agreeing to be like, well, okay, well, if we call this up and we call this down, and they're like, yeah, we'll call this up, we'll call this down, then what if I moved sideways? And then they're like, oh, that's cool, and then people get all like, what is this fucking conspiracy you guys are saying? And that's really, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit into, like, how I feel about people who are, like, hardcore conspiracy theorist people, but, like, you know, I feel like it's, at a certain point, it's hard to define science and, like, doing science stuff, well, it's like in my face, without running into conspiracy people, because, like, they really do come out of the woodworks to, like, I don't know, talk to you, to, like, dissuade you. It's just crazy. That word is wrong, not true. Yeah, like, that word is wrong, not true. Oh. But yeah, it's wild how this shit kind of, like, works. But yeah, I love listening to this podcast called Chilluminati. It's great, and the boys are so cute. They're so cute on there. Although it's funny, they're like way older than me. I don't know why I'm calling them cute, like they're children. But like every once in a while on that show, they do like they don't like say conspiracies like this is something you should believe, but they do a lot of like, we're just gonna highlight a random conspiracy and go into the details of it and kind of like make fun of it. And sometimes I just like, get so upset listening to it, because sometimes it's so hard to be like, that's not how it works. But if anything, it's nice because it makes me realize what people kind of like think outside, like not all people, but like what people are afraid of, I guess, in terms of like doing like science and the community and stuff, because the community is just, I don't know, it's insular. I'll be honest, actually I think the scientific community is very insular and really likes to cut itself off from other people. There's a lot of like attitude about like I think there's an ego a lot of STEM people have that presents itself like, oh, we're better and we're smarter and I'm right, but I'm like pretty sure most of that ego comes from a lot of people going into STEM, growing up feeling picked on and less than and a little bit inferior, and so when they finally have something to excel in, they blow up, they kind of blow up and feel really big about it. And I think that's also why they kind of try to separate themselves a little bit, because it does feel safer to be like, I'm just with a bunch of people who know what I'm talking about and agree, and you know, I don't have to like explain myself every time, and so I think that's like one of those things too, where it's like, I think the fact that a lot of scientific communities kind of isolate themselves a little bit, even historically, very physically, you know, like universities and scholars used to be like off on a mountain by themselves, kind of like, it adds an air of mystery to the community as a whole, right? Where it's like, well, if you guys are so smart, like, what are you planning? How are you trying to get at us? And it's like, they're not, they're just a bunch of little nerds who just want to like hide in their little fucking D&D corner. Like, let them fucking be. But I get it, you know, especially when like every once in a while scientists are important and they come out in public. It's kind of like how I felt when like COVID stuff was happening and Fauci was on the news all the time, and I'm like, I'm not like a bio person, I don't know anything about viruses, but like he just seemed like a guy who was like, I've been doing this type of research for my whole life, and everyone was just like coming at him for like no reason. I mean, there was probably some reasons, but for the majority of reasons I felt like people were just like, I don't believe you because you say you're a scientist. And I was like, this is a weird point. It's a weird like hill to die on, I feel like, but you know, I don't know, like it's part of the issue. So outreach is important. And interdisciplinarianism, that's the other fucking thing. Physicists are really bad at this. I think other sciences are a little bit better. Interdisciplinarianism is like when you have like a physicist working with like a chemist or something, or you know, you're working with engineers. Physicists love to just like be like, we just live in our little box and we don't talk to anyone else. But interdisciplinarianism is really the future. It's really like the way to go. There's more like interdisciplinary. I keep saying that so fast. I'm so sorry. There's a lot more interdisciplinary like PhD programs opening up and stuff like that. Like one of the biggest ones is astrobiology, right? People who understand the concepts of astronomy, but also biology, because how the fuck are you gonna look for life in space if none of us astro people know jack shit about how fucking plants work or animals? Like, you know, we don't have the bio background. So we can like look for planets, we can look for chemical signatures, but like I can't tell you what chemical signatures come from like animals and plants. That's where the astro is. And you know, and I think it's good to like have more of these like, okay, astrobiology, or like what's another one? A lot of them are biology in my brain. There's like geology, astrogeology and stuff like that, where you have geologists looking at the surface of Mars and being like, wow, look at all these features. Because here's the thing, like a lot of the things physicists will look at and be like, this is an unknowable problem. We'll never figure this out. No one can understand. And then you have like a geologist look at it and they're like, that's a lava tube, bitch. Girl, do you even know? Like, do you even know what's on this fucking planet? And like, it's just like what seemed impossible to one discipline can be really obvious to another. And like, it's just really funny how there's, again, the ego comes into play. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of memes. I would say you've seen a lot of memes. I don't know if you guys have in particular, because like I get a lot of science memes. Like, you know, I'm on the physics meme subreddit and stuff like that. But like, there's a lot of like jokes about the hierarchy of STEM, right? Like, where it's like people argue like, who's at the top? Is math at the top? Is science at the top? Is physics at the top? Is chemistry at the top? Because we're all arguably, everyone in their own discipline thinks they're the most important, because they're like, do you know what I can do? When it's kind of like, it's like the idea that the sun goes around the earth, where all of the disciplines think they're the earth and the sun's going around, when realistically we're all going around the sun. We're all different planets going around the sun, and we need to work together. But then there's a lot of ego, and that's a little bit of an issue. But it's getting better. It's getting better. But it's, you know, it's another reason why I'm always like, cool, dude. Like, let's just work together. If I could have someone else do something that they know really well, and I don't have to like completely learn something new, why not? Why not let them do it? Let me put my cute shirt on. I'm just gonna stand over here. Oh, we're back. I feel like biologists are the highest, they directly affect our life. Right! And that's where it's like, it comes into like, well, under what framework are we looking at, right? Like, because a lot of, I know the argument for physics being at the top is that physics is like very about like base principles. So we're not concerned about molecules, we're concerned about the atom. We're not concerned about like, we're all about like the foundations of everything. So that's kind of like the idea. But like, some people don't give a shit about the foundation, right? Like, you don't need to, biology was developed separately from physics, you know? Like, we don't need to know how everything else works if we can look on a macro scale. Versus like, people argue that math is the most important because you need math to do physics, you need math to do biology, you know? But like I was saying earlier, there's definitely been like physicists who just make up their own math to make it work. So there's no right answer. The long and short of it is there's no right answer to how that shit works. I'm not sitting on my legs anymore, so I can... Oh, I should put earrings on. Also, my brother's poke now. The braids getting stuck in my eyelashes is literally like the craziest fucking feeling in the world. Jesus Christ. How do people do this? Let's see. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's crazy. I love that shit. What am I wearing? I'm a lot of blue. A lot of blue. I could wear more blue. I could wear something else. You can't really see my ears too, so like maybe bigger earrings would be better. I have big bells. They're just like cute little bells. Or I have pumpkins that look like cherries. Without physics, we wouldn't have EM and diagnostics. Yeah. Right, yeah, it's all like a circle. It's very circle of life in terms of sciences. Like, where it's like, oh, well, because... I think physicists discovered what an X-ray was, but then it was then applied to like medical use, and X-rays are super important, and that's like very biology based. It's just like one of those things. It's like there's no right answer. We're all just adding to the collective knowledge pool, and like I think that's cool. You know, like that's beautiful. It's like the human condition as a whole on Earth. We're all just like throwing pennies in the fucking bucket, and then we're like, wow, we have $1 billion, like collectively $1 billion. No one has $1 billion by themselves. It's all about teamwork. It's all about community. Although people get all like, yeah, as long as it's constructive, that's true. There's definitely some bad actors too. Insides. For real. Oh boy, how many of these? I'm like, these eyelashes are growing on me. I think they look really cool now. I was like kind of upset with them when I put them on, but now I'm like, I think this is awesome. I think this is actually very cool. What's that? What's what? My earring? And there's also clear water. Hold on. Alright, here we go. Here's a crate water. I'll drink some water. Yum 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 yum. My earrings are so hidden and subtle, but the orange is cute. It kind of pops out of the blue. Complementing colors? What is it? Except whatever they are. What are the colors that are opposite on the color wheel called? The opposite colors. That's not what they're called, but I took an art class once. I used to be an artist. I fancied myself for an artist back when I was in high school. Okay. So, we've made it. Accrete water out of air. Ha ha ha. Yeah. No, I just stole the spell name from Dungeons and Dragons for a lot of my redeem. Oh, Kyo. The time has come. The time has come. Let's do some slides. I'm gonna try to give you guys a talk. Even though I've been talking for how long? Hour and a half? Hour 40 minutes? Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm going to type the names of the talks I have into chat so you guys can see. I'll have you guys pick one. And then if we finish one, like if it doesn't take that long, then we could just do another one. That'll be fine. Dispersion and double rainbows. Mineralization of rocks. It's even funnier because I'm like the worst at naming presentations. I like come up with the weirdest names. Infrared and other. Fermi acceleration. Collision less plasma. I spelled that wrong. Oh, that's fine. They don't want collisionless to be one word. But it can be. It can be one word if you want to. Okay. I realize I did not space those the way I thought they would, but there's the titles in the chat. Yeah, so I guess I could have done a poll. I realized I could have done a Twitch poll. That'd probably be easier. Anyway, take a look at the, let me see, let me know what you think about that, cause yeah, we're gonna give you a talk. And I could probably wing it. I'm really good at getting through talks. Believe it or not, I like talking. I'm like, the dispersion double rainbows one was fucking great. That was a great talk. I liked that one a lot. Oh, where did my slides go? There you go. What else? The metallization of rocks one was pretty good too. That was my like NASA project. I think that one's kind of long. You know what? It's great. I just remember it being really great, but I also haven't looked at it in a long time. So who knows? Who knows if it's good as hell? It was great for my like 2019 brain. So anyway, I still need to work on my English. Yeah. Let's do. I'm gonna have to like set up. Oh, we can just pause the music. I'll put different music on. What's that one playlist? There's this one song I used to play. This one. It's like a YouTube video for, I don't know, dark academia, but like it's good to put on the background of streams. So there we go. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a talk. We're picking which slides do you guys want to see? Which slides shall we show the class today? I'm gonna try to give a talk from slides that I made years ago, and we're gonna see how well I do. That is the goal of the thing right now. So let me see. I'm gonna start off with the dispersion of a double rainbow. New gifts and stickers and slides. Oh. Okay, I have to like kind of see how I can format this really quick, so bear with me for a moment. Where is, aha, I see. Let's do browser capture. No, don't do that. Let's do window. No, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll just do display. Just do the whole display. Is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Let me just shrink the whole thing down. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. And then I'll just put it in the corner and I'll make myself bigger, and then for cool also put it underneath me. Where's my camera? Okay, there we go. Then we can do this. And my slides are there. Okay! We got it. We made it. Yeah, we're just gonna do it like this. Okay. So I was in an optics class, and this was like my final or my big midterm thing. It was something like that. Anyway. Hello. So awkward, like I'm starting from scratch. Hello everybody and welcome to my talk. I'm talking about dispersion and double rainbows today. Let's see if we can. There we go. So, dispersion. What is it? So, as a monochromatic beam goes through a prism, the light gets dispersed at different levels depending on the wavelength. So, here is an index of refraction plot down here. Can you see my mouse? You can't see my mouse. Okay. The first plot that you see is, so n is the index of refraction. And this is how the index of refraction changes depending on wavelength. This is the relation. And so this is a normal dispersion curve. And so you can kind of see in nanometers, so visible light is roughly like 700 to 500 nanometers, right? With like higher wavelength is like the bluer violet light and lower wavelength is red light. This shows that like at a lower, redder color of light has a higher index of refraction, where if you have a higher wavelength, you have a lower index of refraction. Which is why you get things like this, where you have your monochromatic white light in this other graph. You have your monochromatic white light going into a prism. And then that prism, the light, because the white light is all the wavelengths combined, right? That's what we're considering. And the white, so the different wavelengths bend through the light at different angles, which is why they separate into different colors, which is where rainbows come from. So, dispersion. Here's like a real picture of it. So this is white light entering a prism in a laboratory setup, and then all of the colors being dispersed at different angles. So it separates the wavelengths. So properties that affect dispersion are, so the level of dispersion through various mediums depends on the refractive index of the medium. So that N that I was saying, using before, that variable index of refraction, it is dependent on the material. So like glass has an index of refraction that is different from water, different from air. They all have different ones. And so we can calculate that through this equation. This is an equation introduced by Cauchy that approximates the dispersion curve based on empirical data, with A, B, and C being empirical constants. So that one's really nice because that is an equation that comes from empirical data, so you can just measure wavelengths and find the index of refraction versus knowing the index of refraction and then trying to find the wavelength, because knowing the index of refraction is a little bit trickier. So we love empirical equations. So the refractive index changes speed within the medium, and depending on the wavelength, the light beam can deviate more or less within the same medium. So the index of refraction, a way to think about that too, is that it changes the speed of light by some amount. That sounds kind of funky, but like, yeah, as light is passing through a vacuum, through space, it goes the regular speed of light, c, and it kind of, the same with air. We consider air having an index refraction of like 1, is that what it is? And so you can have, like, you know, as it goes through the atmosphere, it's going at the same rate. But if it goes through glass, it slows down for a little bit, and then it comes out, it goes the same rate. So that's an interesting little corner. So dispersion and deviation. Dispersion is defined as the dnd lambda and can be approximated using the formula dnd lambda equals 2b lambda cubed, 2b over lambda cubed, sorry. Where this is like, these are like these angles, these are the wavelengths, and deviation of the beam is dependent on the refractive index of the medium. So one of these is dependent on the wavelength, and one of these is dependent on the index of refraction. So here's a large deviation, small dispersion. So large deviation, you can see the angle, this like dotted line where the light would go if it was not affected, and where the light actually comes out has a large deviation, because this is dependent on wavelength. But the dispersion, the spaces between the beams that come out, is very close. Versus small deviation, the light isn't bending that much in the medium, but the dispersion, the space between the lines as they come out, is much greater. So these are two different things on that are affected by two different like properties of the setup, right? The system. So we're gonna define dispersion even farther with the Fraunhofer lines. Oh god, I remember the name, I just don't say it very much. So here's a table that I stole from somewhere, probably a paper or a book. I didn't credit it. That's kind of funny. So 3 lines of wavelengths at the ends of in the middle of the visible spectrum have been used historically to categorize dispersion, and these lines were used due to their original observation in solar spectrum. So what I mean by that is that, like, there were 3 colors essentially that people have been using to historically like measure how much dispersion is happening. Basically, they're like, we look at blue, yellow, and red, and we just want to see how far away they are, and that's how we can tell what the dispersion is. And because there's a lot of, in looking at spectra from the sun, we can see these colors, so that's why they're used. So F and C, so they're blue, yellow, and red, labeled F, D, and C. F and C are dark lines because they are absorbed by hydrogen atoms, and D is a line absorbed by sodium atoms in the solar atmosphere. So these are lines where it's, if you were to look at the solar spectra, it's like a rainbow and there's these dark lines at certain places. These are the dark lines. There should be blue, but there's just darkness. It's a little confusing, but this was also for a group of people who I think was supposed to understand spectral absorption and emission, but that's okay. Okay, so using these Fraunhofer lines, I'm so good at talking. The ratio of dispersion to deviation, called the dispersive power, capital delta, can be found using the following relationship. It's just like the actual ratio of deviation, dispersion, which can be used using the index of refraction from these different lines, right? That's what we're saying. This N is still the index of refraction, but of the different ones. So how bent are these lines is how we can find this this ratio. And so yeah, here's like the index of refraction in crown glass for this wavelength is 1.52. In flint glass, it's 1.7. And so that's where the material property is really important. So by using this table and the equation above, one could find the dispersive power of flint glass is greater than that of crown glass. Because if you plug these numbers into this, you will get that crown glass has less dispersive power. Cool. So now we gotta talk about rainbows, for real. I loved doing a fucking talk about rainbows, okay? The natural effect of dispersion. So what is a rainbow? A rainbow is an effect that water particles acting as individual natural prisms that refract and disperse the monochromatic light that enters the atmosphere from the sun. As we all know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, when it rains, then a rainbow. So you need these water droplets, and they act like little prisms, and they disperse light, and then the light separates into colors. It's very cool. The circular arc shape that is typical of a rainbow, like this arc shape that I'm talking about, comes from the geometry of the Earth and the incident angle between the sunlight and the water particle medium, which is about 40 degrees. So without the ground limiting the rainbow to a half circle, one could observe a perfectly circular rainbow if one were observing in an airplane. So this is really cool. I love this detail. The only reason we think of rainbows being like half circles is because the Earth's in the way. But yeah, if you are up at a higher vantage point, rainbows are complete circles. When I was in Hawaii at one point, and the hotel I was staying at in Hawaii was like really, really tall, and I had to go up really high. I was at a conference for this, but the hotel was really tall, and in Hawaii, I didn't know if you guys know this, there's a lot of rainbows like all the fucking time. Like every day there's a rainbow in Hawaii. It's crazy. No wonder it's on their license plate too. But I was at the top. I was at the top of this really high hotel, and I could see this rainbow like it didn't make a full circle, but it made like most of a circle. Like it just went all the way around. So that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a cool deal. So I like this graphic too, where it shows the white light coming in, and then there's some dispersion, there's some reflection, there's some refraction, and then we get our rainbow that we're used to seeing. And that's why, you see why the colors of the rainbow are in a specific order, because the wavelength, the color and the wavelength, they're the same, but the wavelength, it's because the refraction is dependent on wavelength. And so that's why the colors are always in the same order, because it's literally just splitting the light in like dependent on this thing. So that's why it's cool too, you know? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm super excited about this like concept. So let's talk about double rainbows all the way across the sky. And then I played the double rainbow video in class. It was very cool.
That's a full rainbow. All
but
the
yeah.
way. Double rainbow. Oh my god. It's a double rainbow.
So he sees the double rainbow, right? This is a natural phenomenon that exists.
Whoa.
And this guy is just going crazy. But yeah, like what is a double rainbow? What causes a double rainbow? And how's it different from a regular rainbow?
Oh my god, oh my god.
I love this. This is a great shot.
Oh my god. Woo.
But take note how the color, the intensity of the second rainbow is fainter than the first rainbow. That's a really important detail, okay? You see how it's like super faint? Okay, next slide. So how do you double the rainbow? How do you double it? So a rainbow gets doubled when the light gets reflected twice inside of the individual water particles. So here's the, right? I mean, there could be a particle at the end of the rainbow, but it's a circle, so have fun with that. So here's like a regular rainbow, which we call the primary one, the first one, and it's just one reflection, and then it exits, right? Reflected once, exits. Sometimes it can reflect twice, where you get two. So the secondary rainbow is about 10 degrees higher in the sky than the primary, and the colors are inverted, which is cool, right? Such a weird detail. It also has about 1/10 the intensity of the primary rainbow. So, like, you get the second reflection, the colors invert, the intensity drops, and it's also, like, at a different position in the sky, you know? Like, so that's crazy, the secondary rainbow. But does it stop at 2 rainbows? Kind of. So I was defining a rainbow as the effect of raindrops dispersing reflected sunlight, which does stop at 2. You're not going to get a third reflection inside of a raindrop, but you can get supernumerary rainbows. They do exist. And that's what we call any rainbow higher than a double rainbow. And so supernumerary rainbows are really cool. But they can't not be explained by geometric optics. So the resulting higher order rainbows so higher order, which means like if the main rainbow is the primary, the secondary, and then, you know, tertiary, we'll just call those higher orders. Anything above 2. Anything above 1, really. Because technically a double rainbow could be considered a supernumerary rainbow, but like under a constraint of 2, right? But who cares? So the resulting higher order rainbows are a result of interference within the water particles, and the space between the rainbows are dark fringes. Isn't that fucking sick, dude? This is back to the double slit experiment we were talking about earlier. So the higher order rainbows decrease in intensity and lose most of their color in the spectrum. So this, on this side, is a fringe. This is not a rainbow. But this is optical interference that we see when we use like slits and slit experiment stuff. So what happens is that you have like a beam of light, you expect it, but the way you have 2 slits, I'm just gonna explain this really quick. You have 2 slits of light that are letting light in, right? They're both very small. The light does go through, but it's going through both. And because light is a wave, you get light's like a wave like this, right? And so if you have 2 waves going on top of each other, then we have so parts where you have 2 crests on top of each other, and that's like constructive. And you have 2 crests on top of each other, 2 troughs on top of each other is constructive. But if you have a crest and a trough on top of each other, it cancels out to nothing, right? And that's what you're seeing here, is where wave mechanics works and is a valid way to look at light, because there's these like, this is where they're destroying each other. There's destructive interference. But then there's constructive interference because it's pretty bright over here. But that's what we're talking about. And that's what we're seeing. So this isn't more reflections inside of a water beam. It's just that these rainbows are now kind of starting to interfere with each other. So that's cool. I didn't know supernumerary rainbows existed until I found that one in a picture. Yeah, they're kind of weird. they're very strange, I think. Double slit experiment hurting me for 6 years. It'll come back at you. It's a huge thing. Yeah, but we also see a loss in intensity as we get higher in order. So that's something to keep in mind. Fun fact, lunar rainbows. So I learned while I was doing this project that you could also get rainbows from the moon, from moonlight, which I just thought was kind of cool. Like, because the moon just reflects sunlight, but you could also get moonlight rainbows. And so they exist. And that was the end of my talk. Questions? Any questions? That was my talk. Welcome to my TED Talk. No. So, yep, that was my one talk. I think that went pretty well. I actually knew a lot of that stuff still. That was actually pretty fresh in my mind. When did I make this? 2018 or something? Like a long time ago. Oh man. What a good talk. I'll do one more and then we'll probably call it for the what's it called? Stream. Although now my face looks like this. Yeah, I'm gonna do one that I genuinely don't remember. Let's do... let's do the... oh boy. Fermi acceleration and collisionless plasma? We could do that. I don't remember even doing this project, so, you know. Holy shit, there's a lot of plots in here. Okay, that's gonna be fun! Okay. Anyway, let's do it. Fermi acceleration and a collisionless plasma. I totally know about this. I definitely did this in my plasma physics class, which was also like the final or something, I don't remember. Okay, what's happening? Collisionless shocks are found commonly in low-density astrophysical plasmas because of the energy dissipated through the collisions of the particles' interactions with turbulent EM fields. These effective collisions enable particle acceleration to ultra-relativistic energies. It's midnight for me. Okay, thanks for popping in. Yeah. Okay. God, collisionless shocks. Oh boy, I do remember reading about this. Yeah. That pretty much says exactly what it says. I'm just gonna read it all and then we can discuss. Particle acceleration from these EM waves have been found to be driven by stochastic diffusion, which is when particles move back and forth across the shock front and gain energy by scattering from magnetic turbulence through the first-order Fermi acceleration mechanism. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, I remember this paper. I remember reading this paper. And I didn't like this paper. And I remember I had to do a presentation on it. That's so funny! Yeah, okay. I'll read the last part and then we'll talk. Specifically, in relativistic, unmagnetized plasma flows interacting with one another or with the ISM plasmas, the Weevil instability is generally viewed as responsible for generating the sub-equipartition EM fields and mediation of collisionless shocks and generating super thermal particles. So, like, how do I explain this? How do I simplify this? You have a plasma. You have a low density plasma floating through space. Okay, you have a low density. I'm like. So plasma. There's a lot to explain here. This is hard to jump into. So plasmas are like. I want to say electron soup, and I know that's not like the most academic way to say what I'm thinking. Super thermal particles. So hot. Yeah, okay, so basically you have you have a plasma. Just think of a plasma as like a collection of charge with free moving electrons. That's probably the easiest way to say that. And like the electrons inside of these plasmas can like be affected by like they can get like thrown off, and they can, you know, turbulence and stuff can really affect them. And because they're electrons moving, you will get electromagnetic waves, and you get current, and you get things like that. So there's a lot of electromagnetism like involved with this. And so what this group, or this paper I think was talking about, I'm pretty sure this is just about one paper, is like the Weevil instability was, they were trying to like say that this was causing these like fields that were being measured. I think it was measured, maybe they were generated. So let's talk about the Weevil instability. Weevil instability is a collective E&M instability that develops in plasmas with an anisotropic velocity distribution. The velocity distribution is not like moving. It's how do I say anisotropic in like normal? Isotropic is like central, like not centralized maybe. So both analytical and simulation work show that the WI generates large magnetic fields that can reach the Alfvénic limit during its non-linear stage, and the Alfvénic limit is a current where particles start to have a net backwards motion in a self-generated magnetic field. So you have a current, you have an electron in a magnetic field. Oh boy. Oh, you have an electron in a magnetic field. And there's like a motion we expect from that. That's like a pretty kind of standard thing to think about. But if the current gets so high, then, or if the electron starts moving at such a velocity, it's kind of, then the particles start to seem like they're moving backwards. This is a really top, like the context to get into this one is at a higher level than I remember it being, as I'm trying to explain it in a really general sense. I'm trying my best. So what does Fermi acceleration look like? Fermi acceleration is identified by the existence of a non-thermal tail of the distribution function and kinetic energy carried by non-thermal particles. Yeah, because this whole project was about the Fermi acceleration, right? So here's some calculations. The simulations, okay, this was a simulation-based one. Yeah, I had a feeling. Simulations describe plasmas with collisionless shocks moving at relativistic speeds. So you have this is the speed that they're talking about, 0.45 c, or 47% the speed of light, if that's easier. The number density of charge within NS is NS is the number of shocked particles, is calculated via it's just 3.1. This is like this is a simulation, so you can just kind of assert and establish what you want to be true. So then you define a well-formed shock region, which is like an omega t type of thing, and then the speed is consistent with the temperature being 4.45 times 10 to the 8 Kelvin. So these are just, again, this is just a computational simulation, and this is just defining the constraints under which the simulation was run. The plasma frequency, omega p, is defined by this. These are all constants that I don't exactly remember the values of, but I do know they're constants, so don't worry about that. And the wave number of the shock is equal to this wave number inverse c over omega. Okay, so here's the idea. So we have this stream, and here's your XYZ components, or, you know, little what am I thinking of? Coordinate system. You have two sets of electrons on either side, and they shock like this. Kind of like they move towards like this way, and then you get this point of contact somewhere in the middle. So there's like a shock wave, a shock point. And shock is even a little confusing the way I'm using it. I'm using it in a very specific way, and I'm not explaining it very well. Okay, so this is me explaining what the simulation intended and did. Using the first principles 2D particle in a cell simulation code, they modeled a collisionless shock that formed in the overlapping region of the counter-streaming colliding plasmas. These are the plasma here, counter-streaming, right? The overlapping region excites the the WI, which accelerates the particles with generated EM fields. So they come together. This region gets a lot of magnetic fields, like a magnetic field is generated, and that magnetic field kind of starts to accelerate particles, starts to make them move, right? The acceleration mechanism is called the first order Fermi acceleration. And so the WI generated fields are very anisotropic in the shock and pre-shock region, but both electric fields have nearly equal magnitude in the downstream. So that's kind of a cool little blurbo, right? That there's anisotropic fields, and then but both of the fields are equal in magnitude in the downstream section, which we'll go back. In this section, so it's anisotropic here and here, but it's equal here. Like equal and opposite? Did I just say equal? Equal in magnitude, so we don't have direction. Okay. So in the relativistic shocks, the value of the Lorentz factor that separates the groups of particles turns out to be gamma bifurcation equals 2 gamma naught. And the slow group of particles takes an equal amount of work from both longitudinal and transverse E-field components, while the fast particles take their energy from the transverse only. So that's kind of an interesting factor too, that there's like two aspects of energy transfer depending on the slow particle group and the fast particle group. So here's some plots. Let's look at these. I'm hand waving a lot. This is a very interesting paper, but like I'm hand waving a lot. This is not the easiest paper to describe in 5 minutes to the general public, but I'm trying guys. So in this plot we have electron energy spectra in the downstream slice. Okay, so we have gamma naught dn, n max d gamma, and what is this number of particles? What is this? What's on this axis? Why didn't they label it? I don't know. Okay, so this is the simulation. Okay. So, oh, I see what I did. These are this lower axis is the gamma over gamma naught ratio. I think these were like this in the plot, and then I moved them like this to fit on the slide. So we have group 1 and group 2, which are parts of the gamma, like it's defined by gamma naught ratio. And then so the simulation is this black line which follows this power law, right, which is cool. And the blue dotted line, well, the tail of the simulation follows the power law. This is just a standard power law. But the first part of the simulation follows this other curve that they call 2DMJ, which I don't off the top of my head remember where that comes from, but that's okay. And so basically they're saying like group 1 is following a different set of conditions than group 2 is, and I think this is where the slow group of particles and the fast group of particles is coming from as well. Like they're interacting in a different way. And this is the group 1. Go back to this slide. Group 1, we have our like shock point. Like, is it before the shock? Is it after the shock? That's kind of what we're talking about. And then in the second plot, we have, what do we have? Okay, we still have the number of particles, the ratio, and the gamma ratio with a tiny plot inside. That's right. That's cute. It looks like it's pregnant. So what is this? The electron energy spectra. Okay, thank God. The electron energy spectra of the upstream reflected particles. The inset is their transversely averaged density. Oh, thank God. I put fucking notes in this one. Okay, so yeah, this is the spectra of the particles. Versus so this is their average density. We're not going to worry about the average density right now. I just put that in there to explain why there's a tiny plot inside of this plot. And so what's it called? The spectra of these particles does have this like interesting curve, right? It doesn't seem as, although, yeah, it doesn't seem as dependent on the gamma naught ratio as the energy spectra, or the downstream energy spectra versus the upstream energy spectra, right? It's like different, they're different like trends. So, and that was the end. That was the end of my talk. Yeah, this is based on 2 papers. Okay, yeah, so I guess it was based on the Fermi acceleration of relativistic collisionless plasma shocks correlates to anisotropic energy gains by Singh et al. 2021, and then Alphen limit revisited and its relevance to laser plasma interactions from Davies et al. 2006? I was referencing a 2006 paper? What? Okay, that sounds old, but it must have been. It must be just a big reference paper. That's crazy. Why would I be referencing that? Oh my god. But yeah, those are some talks I did. Boy oh boy, yeah. Oh my god. Revisiting this plasma physics one though, that's kind of got me all. Damn, it's just crazy. It's just a wild time. But anyway, we did it. I did two things. 2 things at once. I did a get ready with me, we talked about physics, and I also showed you some old slides, and one was pretty successful and one was not, so. Yeah, I'm not the biggest, like, plasma physics person. I think I mean, I definitely mentioned that earlier, but, like, that shit gets complicado. Although it's cool. It's cool when you're, like, in the midst of it, you know? But yeah. God, I can't get over my eyelashes. All the struggle I went through to get them on, and now they're on, and I'm gonna leave them on forever. I'm just kidding. I'm definitely gonna take a shower later and just be like, no, God. I would be terrified of having these in the shower. When I'm wet, like, this doesn't seem like something I'd want wet on my face, but. Anyway, that's it for me. Yeah. I'm getting back into having my schedule calm the fuck down because I've been having like absolutely crazy time schedule over the past few months. So I'm saying this mostly for the YouTube audience because the Twitch people have been seeing me pretty consistently, but for YouTube I have plans. I am writing stuff. There will be some stuff coming out. It's just that I've been all over the place, all over the world. No, I'm just kidding. I went to one country, one foreign country, but it was in Asia, which is a pretty long flight. Doesn't really count. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to do more. Like, I have plans for science videos. I really, really do. And yeah, and as for the Twitch audience, who, if anyone's here from Twitch still, I'm gonna do another big community thing, and I think the next one for Twitch is going to be a 24-hour D&D stream, because I was talking about it and I thought that'd be really funny, but it has to be pretty high value, so it'll take a long time for you guys to get it, but that's okay. Anyway, drink water and eat food to sustain your human form, and, you know, try to remember things you learn in class, because, you know, they're easy to forget. It's funny how me going through my plasma physics presentation kind of made me realize how much I knew about plasma physics, but how much I'd learned and kind of like forgot that I learned it there. You know, like I was like, oh yeah, that's like a thing I know, but I'm like, ooh, yeah, there's actually a lot of context for this that I'm not giving. So, yeah, I apologize, but I listed the papers in case you wanted to like come back and revisit the those papers that I was talking about to try to get a better idea of what I was saying, because yeah, you could do that too. Never take my word for it. I'm probably referencing something else. I usually try to include what I'm referencing so you can look for yourself, because you know what? Why would I do it when you guys could do it? You know? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna go. Have a good evening. I'll catch you guys on Flippy Flop. And I love you, or like whatever.